Hello, and welcome to the Mighty Mecha Nerd Review Show. Today I'm going to be giving you my first impressions on Regalia, the Three Sacred Stars, which is a new anime that just came out about last week. This is a very interesting mecha anime, and I went into it completely blind. The only thing I knew was that there were giant robots, and I think that kind of improves the experience in this case. My first thought when watching this was, what the heck is going on? Because it's a cold open. They don't show you the opening for the show yet. That's at the very end, which is good because it would ruin the surprise at the end of the episode. But my first thought was, what the heck is going on? Because there's two giant robots fighting in a big crater. And they're piloted by very, very, very small little children. They look like they're toddlers. And my mind went, what? Little kids? I mean, real little kids. You know, little kids piloting giant robots is pretty common. But toddlers? That just seemed bizarre. Well, basically after that, there was a time skip, so it wasn't quite as bad, but I was like, with toddlers, giant robots? I don't know if I'm gonna like this, but at least it looks nice. But I was so confused. Because really little kids driving giant robots, I was, what? But then after that, and a giant explosion, it goes to home life. It went slice of lifey for a moment, and I was like, what? Okay, this is pretty normal, actually. But the oddness was that there's two main characters. They introduce you to two main characters. There's Reina, who is, from all appearances, really, really young. Like, middle schooler aged looking? Little kid, you would assume. But then you have the older kid who keeps on calling her the older sister, so what? My whole feeling with this was, mysteries, mysteries, mysteries abound. What the heck is going on? But I'm interested. But yeah, so little girl, not little girl apparently. So that sort of thing is going on. But so that's happening. Then they're gonna meet up at a cafe, but then she sees somebody that she knows from her past who's another little girl. And you know, these little girls that aren't little girls are already really suspicious from the opening. Something's going on. But so she leaves the person who's her sister, and she was gonna give her a gift. To go meet this other person that she knew from her past. And ends up in a fight with a guy who turns himself into a giant robot. He turns himself into the core for a giant robot. And you even question that whether or not he's human at that point. Where at this point, the little girl reveals that she is not really a human and is in fact a giant robot herself. And called Magna Electo. I really love that name. But she's fighting the person who turned himself into the core, and it was just, it reminded me of Zonderization from Galgaiar. This weird turning into a core for a crazy giant robot, and this because he's had that weird flesh into metal and. Ugh. But it was really fantastic to see. It was really nice. It looked really good. She gets her ass kicked. Because from what we already saw from the opening, you need two people to pilot these giant robots. And she was only one. But then her sister comes in. As far as we know, is her sister because she's apparently not a human. So, comes in and ends up driving the giant robot for her, and they drive it together, and they beat the crap out of that guy. And You know, that's where the story ends. But it left a lot of mystery. They brought in, there's some sort of shadowy organization in this kingdom. It's a kingdom. It's a modern kingdom, so and very Europeanly designed. A lot of European-looking people. The main characters themselves look pretty European, so that's kind of an interesting setting to begin with. And normally when it's a kingdom, it's normally not a modern kingdom, so it makes you kind of think of England or Germany or something like that. But basically, this is a girls driving giant mecha show, which is nice every once in a while. And I mean girls, I mean, I don't think we've met the only male in the show was the bad guy who got the bad guy who turned into a core for a giant robot. So that's interesting. There's barely any guys at all even in the opening. So that's very interesting. And the show seems to be striving this idea of a family relationship and it being really strong and sisterhood and that like that. So it's a very nice sort of showing how strong those relationships are in this episode at least, and that is really nice. It's really nice to see family emphasized in a giant robot series. I really like that. But the thing I really liked about this show was after the really intense beginning, it was just so cute. And I was like, hey, it's so cute. It's so cute. The characters are so cute. They got huge eyes. They're so cute though. It's really nice. To see these really cute characters with these really cool and very sleek designed robots. Well, at least the main character who turned into a robot had a really sleek, nice red robot design that was really nice. And the bad guy had a really bulky, design, which is pretty normal. But it started out so cute, and it got so intense. I wasn't expecting that shift, the drama. It was great. It was such a nice shift in tone. The tonal shift really brought me into the show. I wasn't really sure that I would keep on watching, other than I wanted to do for this show. I wasn't ever wanted to do it for my YouTube show, so of course I was going to keep on watching, even if I don't like it. But, just on a personal note, I wouldn't necessarily have kept on watching until it did this swift change into something with so many mysteries and possibilities for this show to go with. It looks like it's going to be a lot of discovering and understanding the history behind what is even going on with these little girls that apparently can turn into giant robots. I'm not really sure if it's magical. It seems to be sort of in the magical area of things. And they have especially when it came to the girl, because she had these wispy sort of magicalness and she read out like an incantation to transform. But the other guy didn't seem necessarily like it was magic related for him. But then again, he did crush an artifact of some sort to turn into that. So I'm assuming it's gonna be magic based, but it might be more like in the techno magic sort of way, which is also a theme that I like to see explored in Mecha, and not just the more traditional very heavily technology, or very heavy, it's a super robot so we can do whatever the heck that we want, sort of thing. And the other thing about the characters themselves is that you really feel that these two characters that are portrayed as sisters just love each other so much. And that's also really nice to see. The mecha themselves, like I said, were very sleek. They were apparently called Regalia gear to go along with the title of the show, Regalia, the 3 Sacred Stars. From what it looks like, there's going to be 3 little girls that can transform into giant robots. Is the drift I'm getting from the opening. And the opening at the end is really kick-ass. The theme is great. I don't really want to say anything else because I don't want to spoil the ending of the first episode or the opening. For anybody who hasn't seen it, you'll see why. That was not expected. But yeah, I really liked it. I think other people should at least give the first episode a try and make it all the way through. Don't worry about the kind of slicey lifey moment in the the beginning, middle of the show. If you not interested in that, just keep going. I think you'll like what happens after that. So I would say give it a try, especially if you want to see cute little girls pilot kick-ass giant robots. I think it's worth at least taking a try. And that's really all I have to say. Mighty Mecha Nerd signing out.